Good morning, good people. How are you all doing? Today we'll be doing three fragrance reviews, individual reviews, no list today. If you're waiting for one, perhaps tomorrow I'll do, but I want to finish up all the fragrances that I have collected, some samples today. First episode is going to be going to be a sample review from House of Memo Paris. So House of Memo Paris, I think I have done not that many reviews. I have only one full bottle, that is Memo African Leather. I think that one, and I did Marfa. I think I forgot the names, but I've done like few, not that many. So today we have an official sample, which I obtained from one shop. I mean, I purchased some fragrances they gave me as a gift. This is called Oriental Leather, and I actually like this house a lot. The main reason for me not to check it out yet because their leather heavy fragrances are not really summer friendly, and our country, Asian zone, most of the time it's hot and humid. So, it's difficult to pull off these fragrances apart from winter time, but I really like African leather, which I got full bottle of. So we'll see what Oriental leather gives us. Really nice sample presentation, definitely. Here's the bottle picture. I think their bottles come in 75 ml, most probably. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they have 100 ml now. This one has beautiful artwork inside. If you see, even the samples have very nice touches. I really like this niche house because of their upper class presentation. And this one, I think the sizable size, it's like 1.5 mil, quite nice. And they have a story and notes breakdown here, but I'm not going to read that because these are very tiny. So this one, basically, as you can tell, the name itself is a leather. So all these fragrances have different kind of leather, Russian leather, perhaps. There are a few other leathers. I forgot the rest of them, but let's see what this one gives us. I have it pre-sprayed on the paper. This fragrance quite opening is kind of like, let me respray this because the dry down has reached. These sprayers are very, very good. And I think this is quite enough juice for one person to make up their mind. If you really want to try these, the bottle looks really nice. Sprayers are okay. Let's just go double shot, so we have plenty of juice on the blotter. Okay, so this one I wore it one time, but it's hot and humid, so I didn't want to finish the sample. Perhaps I'll keep this for upcoming winter if I'm still here. Okay, so what do we get when we smell Oriental leather? First of all, this fragrance, let me tell you, the price I think is quite expensive on these perfumes. When I got African leather by Memo, that one costed me around $200 or so, or a little bit less than that. I think around $175, $170, and that too for a tester. It was not cheap. So basically, you have to pay the buck to get these fragrances, but their different fragrances can have different price tag. Recent times, I remember I tried one fragrance from the house, I think recent release, which smelled kind of fresh, which can be wearable in summer, but did not buy it or did not have a sample. So what do you get from this? First of all, when I spray this, upon initial spray, this one, it smells a little bit like, reminds me of few fragrances, but it has this kind of like a spicy opening. This one perhaps have so many notes, perhaps have, I don't know. The leather will definitely pop at some stage, but this one feels like, let me see, I was reading the notes breakdown. It kind of makes sense. The spicy note is there, the pimento is there. I think, yeah, chili pepper, lavender, cilantro. Yeah, and the middle notes are geranium, star anise or anise, cinnamon, tea. And the base notes are leather, patchouli, clove, benzoin, and vanilla. So this thing, first thing that remind me of those are the notes breakdown. I used to have a fragrance called Polo Supreme Leather. And I used to have Polo Supreme Oud. Okay, those two fragrances. And those are Polo's niche line, as far as I remember. Very good quality. The Oud one was better than the leather, but I did not like the leather. It was like a amber leathery kind of fragrance, kind of sweet, but it was very tame. It didn't feel like it had depth. So I kind of sold it off, didn't worry that much. Really nice bottle. This one reminds me of that in the opening. It has spicy, that kind of that accord, perhaps that cilantro, it's there. I did not detect the lavender just yet. Perhaps it will come in the dry down, but this one will go towards that leather territory, and as far as my understanding goes, these fragrances are all themed on different kind of leathers, like brown leather, black leather, dark leather, or maybe suede leather, kind of like the whitish. This one, perhaps it's for me, I think it has this kind of like spices, and the spices are not just chili, they also mention cinnamon and anise, and then anise or anise, and then tea. So the hard note, you'll get some of it kind of like a Bulgari's, if you remember Bulgari Purom Soir, that kind of a tea note. It has this kind of like a spicy tea note, but it doesn't get tea dominated. It still has that all the way. The big player is always the leather. So think of like a cowboy boot, or a saddle of a horse. This kind of leather, it's in this. So when they say Oriental, I think this is the name, right? Yeah, Oriental. I don't know for that name or what. I get hint of oud in this. I guess it's that polo that keeps playing in my mind, but I could be wrong. So this fragrance people sometimes compare with New York Intense or Patchouli Intense by Nikolai. One of those fragrances, and I can kind of see that. And then some people compare this. The green aspect perhaps is Gucci's Envy, which I have down there. A little bit of a bottle. Let me just get that. Yes, I actually have a gift from my brother. His uncle's bottle. He gifted this to me. This one has particles inside. If you see, this is very rare fragrance. Even if I sell this much, I'm gonna get rich. These are very hard to come by nowadays and very expensive. Gucci and V are going for 300-400 bucks. So I do not see that much comparison to that. But I would say, yeah, you can see some aspect of that in there. But mostly, I get that, yes, Patchouli or New York Intense, that sort of vibe. That is also niche house, extreme longevity. This one has good longevity too. On my skin, it does last a long time. And I guess it didn't do well because it's hot and humid, not the right time to wear it. Occasion definitely has to be winter, cold nights with a leather jacket, bike. If you imagine Wolverine, something like Wolverine, someone like Wolverine would wear this. This could be their signature scent. So then, that very last stage, that animalic leather pops up, and I remember vividly Thierry Mugler, the leather, like Amen, pure leather or something like Cure, like Care. I don't know how to say that. It reminds me of Thierry Mugler leather, which I have somewhere at the back. So this one, it's reminiscent of a lot of other fragrance, but very polished, very nice, smoothly done. Still, I'll tell you, if you do not like leather note, like animalic, it's not a Tuscan leather, sweet, fruity, kind of like a raspberry. This one, it's pure leather accord. So it definitely feels oriental, something Middle Eastern people would wear, like Middle Eastern guys, rich people would wear. They have this, I don't know, think of like their huge SUVs in Dubai, and they have like those Land Cruisers. Those are the basic cars there. But imagine they're huge, the Jeeps or four wheelers. They have like leather interior everywhere. This one smells like a posh interior leather of those Middle Eastern SUVs, Middle Eastern SUVs very specifically. And I don't know why I get that kind of like a skank from it. Perhaps it's oud there or not. It feels like a little bit like that thing you get from Kuros, kind of like a civet kind of a feel. This one has that, a little bit animalic touch. I don't see it mentioned anywhere. They say cloves, benzoin sweetness. I get little sweetness, but mostly after that, all the first few players go away. That's where you remain with animalic leather. So if you like peppery, not peppery, peppery, ambery, and a little bit like somewhere middle. I would not say it's very dominated tea note, but if you like those kind of description or those notes, you'll get that kind of ambery brown leather, which is kind of spicy and animalic. This is what I get from this fragrance, and I think it's acquired taste. It's not for everybody. I do not think I'm very crazy about it. I actually would prefer, if you ask me my few years of experience, I would say I would prefer something like Davidoff leather blend or something like a Bentley for Man Intense, because they're a little bit more playful. This is a bit niche territory. It's like niche means it goes one direction and you have to really particularly like that note of animalic leather to appreciate it. It's not really that benzoin sweetness is perhaps there, but it doesn't really pop that much. So the main forefront is that spicy oriental leather. So if you like that, I think Memo is a fantastic house. If you live in a cold country, perhaps you'll have a different kind of experience. You can read, you can get sample like this. It will tell you a story. Is it worth the price tag? It smells expensive, but at this price point, you can also get hunted down Thierry Mugler's the leather. Let me get that for you so you'll understand what I'm talking about. I don't know where I kept it though. Oh man, I have to remove a lot of bottles, right? I will get it. So you know what I'm talking about. This is the precious fragrance I'm talking about. Thierry Mugler, pure leather. This fragrance is so animalic. This is the darker brother of Amen. If you like this Oriental leather by Memo, that definitely is gonna be expensive. But the Mugler one, $100 somewhere for 100 ml. I think that's worth it. If you like this fragrance, I think that is a more designer version, and I would say a little bit more wearable, but still this one also dark niche territory. So overall, how much I rate this fragrance, I have respect for it. I'm not gonna lie to you, even though this is not, it's a bit too animalic for my liking. It's a bit too serious. This is where leather meets Kuros. But minus the florals that I really enjoy in Kuros. This one I would rate, for out of respect, 8 out of 10. But I feel in our country condition, unless it's very cold, you won't find that many places to wear this, or you'll not pick up that many compliments unless people really know their fragrances. Okay, so 8 out of 10 for Oriental Leather by Memo Paris, and this is a niche house. Definitely check it out. Definitely do not blind buy, test before you buy, and if you like the dry down, then go for it. Thank you very much for watching. Time to move on to the second review. Take care.